Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Collins. I am so happy to bring you this forum for you today. If I haven't met you yet, I'm the founder of the Motherless Daughters Ministry, and I just have to share with you just an amazing experience. And what I want to talk about is God moments. They're there every day. We just sometimes don't see them. We have to open our eyes because we really know God's present in everything we do. I want to start a new trend. I want to share God moments with each other. So let's talk about what this amazing thing is that happened with me. I want you to really talk to others about this too. We need to start this movement of sharing God stories with each other, God moments. So I want to hear from you, and I want to talk to you. Make sure you all know that God moments, they're there every day. We just don't see them sometimes. We don't see them. But what happens so many times in these unusual experiences, people say, oh, it was a coincidence. Well, I've always thought coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. So that's what I've always thought. They happen every day. They're there all day long. We just have to open our eyes to see these opportunities. I want to tell you about a God moment that happened to me just recently. And then I want to encourage you to send, email, respond, and tell me about your God moments because that's what's so important. I want to start a movement. Where do you see God working today? So, one of the things that happened to me recently, and some of you may know this, I had a knee replacement surgery. So, I am just really back to work part time. But the day before my surgery was scheduled, I got a desperate email from the contact us on our website from a father of a teenage daughter. And he had, in that email, he didn't know what to do. His daughter was cutting, and he described the situation a little bit that the mother was alive but emotionally absent. And he'd always raised his daughter from the time she was a baby and cared for her. And now, what might have provoked the cutting that started was because the daughter tried to reach out to the mother again, and the mother didn't respond. So I get this email. What I know is the next day I'm going to have surgery. So what do I do? I had a choice. I could just respond to his email, but then he wouldn't get it till later. So I just couldn't just email him back and give him encouraging words or whatever, or to tell him that we really don't work with women under 18. That was the day before my surgery. I wouldn't be able to help him. And I knew he was desperate, and I was taking an extended leave of absence. Now, prior to opening his email, I had had a very lovely conversation with a woman who had been very involved in the ministry and had to step back because her work got so busy. And now she was semi retired, or she was retiring, and she wanted to get back involved in the ministry. So we had this wonderful discussion. Then I'm reading his email. Oh, I forgot to tell you that the woman I talked to is a retired mental health counselor. So that's who I was talking with prior to opening that email. So I knew I had to do something, and I did something that was totally outside of what I would normally do. I called him out of the blue. I just called him. I told him who I was and why the reason why I was calling him. And because tomorrow I was going to have surgery, I wasn't going to be able to help him. He was blown away. He couldn't believe that I did that. I gathered his story, and I understood what was going on, found out what was going on. And he had done the right thing. He had discovered that his daughter was cutting. He took her to an emergency room. They spent time with a counselor and a social worker, and they got a plan in place for her to be seen, but it was all a waiting list. so he couldn't get her seen for quite a while. Yeah, so he was just desperate, looking for some. I asked him, "How did you find the Motherless Daughters Ministry?" He said he was looking for some kind of help, and he found our website. He said this just really spoke to him. So as I talked to him, it became very clear to me. The reason why I had the conversation with a woman who wanted to get back involved with Motherless Daughters, because she was a counselor, and that may have been why. That was the connection. That was the God moment. I asked him if I could call him back because I had an idea. And he said, well, yeah, fine. So I called the woman and asked her if she could figure out if she could talk with him and just recommend if there were places that he did not know about where she could get help. And she said yes. And so I called him back and said, I found out she's willing to talk with you. And I gave him her business phone number. He was so grateful. And particularly the next day, I was not going to be able to help him. So I really am sure it was God and the Holy Spirit playing a tag team nudge on me. Sometimes we just miss those opportunities. But this is a God moment that I acted on. And I did things that were totally outside of what I normally did. So I think he was blessed by my actions. And I think he was blessed by the Holy Spirit. So my question for you is to open your eyes, and God is everywhere. And those moments are ongoing and they're everywhere and awesome. I'm anxious to hear yours. Until next time, I pray you open your